Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mysterious Pals. This week, I have a special guest for you all. His name is Jordan. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Special guest?
Yep.
But I'm here every time.
I say that like every episode.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that. Almost. I say welcome to the show. First time, long time. Welcome aboard, Jordan. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How are you doing?
Great. I'm
Chris?
happy to be here.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're still doing this.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's what, like episode 60, I think?
Yeah, episode 60. Here we go.
Nice round number.
Yeah.
So before we get started with our episode, I know people hate when we don't start right in. They're like, it's so annoying. He's so annoying.
Sorry, not
Just
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. That is so boring. There's an
We're
episode.
not upset about that at all.
Couldn't care less. Anyway, this week I started watching a show. It's on MGM Plus.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
So I don't even know what the hell it is. I watched it on Amazon because it was like I just rented or something. I bought it on Amazon. It's called From. It's
Great
awesome.
title.
It's so generic, but like it is such an awesome show. They're doing the third season right now.
Never even heard of it. Third season.
Third season.
Is it like sci-fi?
It's like my new Dark. Like I love Dark. Everybody should watch Dark on Netflix. This is like once this goes in Netflix, when they finish, I think this might be the last season, or they're maybe doing one more season. But once they finish this season and they put it on Netflix, it's going to blow up because it's so awesome. But it's stuck on MGM Plus. It was on Epix and now it's on MGM Plus.
Epix.
I think Epix turned into Plus. I don't know. But anyway,
Wasn't Epix part of like Stars and all that stuff?
No clue. Couldn't care less. But it's about this town people get stuck in, basically, like, just randomly, and they're in the town, right?
Wait, I think I saw something about this.
It's starting to like be very popular.
Okay.
People are talking about it a lot because it's awesome. I just finished the first season. It is awesome. It is so good. It's just messed up. Like these people all get stuck in this town, and at night, these like things come out, these monsters, whatever.
Silent Hill kind of thing?
But they come out and they try to get in the houses, and they basically like tap on the window and they're like, hey. And they like say things like, hey, come to the window. Come talk to me. And then as soon as you open the window, they kill you.
Yeah.
So they try to get in the house. And it's just...
So you said these
awesome.
people just randomly appear in this town?
Yeah. And it's like this
They
whole
don't know
thing.
how they got there?
They're just on the highway. They're driving on a highway. And they get pulled into it. It's like this weird like...
How many people are there?
Tons of them. Like there's a whole town. And then like a lot of... It's like kind of like Walking Dead in the fact that like people just die. Like they're always just killing people. But there's a lot. And it's just like people from all over like the United States get like... They're just like on vacation or something. Then all of a sudden they just show up at the same spot, which is this tree. I'm probably giving too much away. Couldn't care less. Spoiler alert.
The one actor, he looks really familiar.
The main actor?
Boyd Stevens. That's the actor.
It's the main guy. He's awesome. He's like the main character.
Did you ever watch Oz?
Nope.
That like prison shows on HBO. He was like the I think like the narrator or like the
Prison show.
Yeah, it's called Oz.
What was Dorothy up to in the prison? Anyway, everybody should go watch From. I'll report back.
It's on MGM Plus.
It is, but you can like pay for it in other places or just find it on the internet. You know, I'm not saying you should. I'm saying you should pay. It's actually just an awesome show. I actually don't mind telling you to go pay for it, or maybe just sign up for a free month of MGM Plus and watch the whole series. It's awesome.
3 seasons. All right.
Yeah, I think they're in the third season now. I don't know if they're ending it. I was so interested in the show and what the backstory is. I actually read the entire synopsis of the current seasons, and I'm still watching it because I don't remember half the crap. It's just awesome. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome back if you skipped ahead. Yeah. Jordan, what do you got for us this week?
All right, first I want to ask you something because I've always not known how to pronounce this word.
Oh, well, that's okay. I
mean, it's shocker for anyone who's has been following us. We are terrible at pronouncing things. Hopefully, you can put this up when I show you this.
Put it on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you pronounce that?
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, I think that's how I always pronounce it.
Well, how do the rest of the people pronounce it?
So this is going somewhere. This is not part of a tangent.
Yeah, don't skip ahead or turn us off or
all right,
anger comments.
Apparently it's Worcestershire.
Worcestershire? Worcestershire.
Yeah. Apparently that's how you pronounce that.
Isn't a shire from the Shire?
You would think. Yeah.
Isn't it from England?
Yeah.
The Shire?
Yeah.
Like the little guys.
His shower's like supposed to be like a town, right? Or like a...
I don't know. I thought it was from the wizard guy and the little Frodo.
And the little
Little Frodo.
Little Frodo.
Bilbos.
The Bilbos and the Baggins.
Yeah.
Worcestershire.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
So
You're gonna tell me that's like some like dead people in there or something? Like it's ground up people, and I'm like, is that the mystery?
So the reason, I came across this mystery, and I saw it takes place in Worcestershire County, England.
Worcestershire?
Yeah, and I was like, oh wait,
could the sauce be called Worcestershire, or is this stuff actually made in that place?
Apparently, it's nothing to do with that town.
I like A1 better anyway.
They're totally different sauces.
I don't know.
All right,
Liam Perrins, Worcestershire.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like British. Liam Perrins.
Sure, it does.
I don't know.
It sounds like Bob and Frank's.
That was French.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they came over. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No. The reason why I brought that up.
Don't turn us off yet, please.
The mystery takes place in Worcestershire County, England.
Okay.
And as I was looking at this, I was like, wait, how do you pronounce that again? Because I remember we worked in a restaurant, so some people would ask for that sauce. There's always like, people are always like fumbling over how to pronounce it.
I'm always like, we don't have that, man.
Worcestershire.
That stuff tastes like poops.
I love it.
Really?
Oh, it's great, man.
It's got a very weird taste.
So it was April 1943.
Oh, modern era.
What's going on in 43, Chris?
Vietnam.
World War II. We're in the thick of World War II.
Thick of it.
4 young boys decided to trespass onto Hagley Wood, the private property in Hagley Estate belonging to Lord Cobham, or Cobham.
Cobham?
Cobham, Cobham. One source says that the boys decided to enter this estate to play soccer. But mostly they entered in search of food because there was strict food rationing going on in England due to the ongoing war.
Wait. They there to play soccer or football? Football. Okay. Get it right, sir.
For
our friends across the pond.
For anyone who's not American. Yeah, so they're there. There's strict food rationing going on in England, of course, due to the World War II. Apparently, these boys snuck onto the private property to try and find food.
Okay.
Whether it's like rabbits or birds.
They're trying to hunt. They were like looking for a supermarket. They were like hunting stuff.
So yeah, they decided to look for birds' eggs in this heavily wooded area.
So they weren't trying to rob this guy, Cobham.
It's kind of like what could be considered poaching.
Well, okay, but they weren't going. There was like in his house and like kicking in the door. Yeah,
like, hey, we're robbing you.
So I should feel bad. What happens to these guys? Because they weren't robbing anybody.
No, they end up fine.
Oh, good.
The boys come across a wych elm.
A what?
A wych elm. The wych comes from the Old English word wice, or W-I-C-E, which means supple.
Wait. Which means supple?
W-Y-C-H. It's not like W-I-T-C-H, but witch.
Which way are you going with this?
It means supple. It's an elm. Apparently they're pretty rare now due to something called the Dutch elm disease. He's killed off a bunch of these trees. The Bob comes across him. He's like, oh, look at this. Bob's one of the kids. He decides to scale the tree to look for a bird's nest, get some eggs, because that's why they're there. He comes across a small hollow hole in the trunk. He sees something white, thinking it's an egg. However, what he saw was no egg, but rather a skull. Bob tells his 3 friends, thinking it's an animal skull, but upon pulling it out with a stick, he realized it was a skull of a human being.
Does he? Mm-hmm. How old is this kid?
I think they're like 13 to 15.
Okay, they're not anthropologists here or anything.
The skull had several remaining tufts of hair, was missing several teeth, and has a small patch of rotting flesh still attached.
Oh, okay. So it was recent-ish.
This is the mystery of Bella and the Wych Elm.
Bella and the Wych Elm. So she's in the Wych Elm.
Yep.
Bella in the Wych Elm, not Bella and the Wych Elm.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wych Elm's a tree.
It's a tree.
Okay.
It's and Bella was in
it's
like a distinct looking kind of tree.
So in the show there's a thing called faraway trees, and when they go in them, they get transported somewhere, random.
Huh.
So Bella may have been. This might have been. Here we go.
Bad transportation gone wrong.
Build a bridge.
The boys decided to stuff the skull back in the crevice of the tree. They also, out of fear of getting into trouble for trespassing, poaching on private property, vowed to keep their macabre findings a secret.
Ooh.
They're like, hey, we're going to get in trouble because we're not supposed to be here. So let's just keep this a secret.
That's what a 13-year-old boy would think. Not like, hey, we should figure this mystery out. Like, the more important thing is a dead person.
Yeah. However, one of the boys, Thomas Whittles, was unable to keep his secret and decided to tell his parents what he and his friends stumbled across.
That's such a Whittles move.
Yeah, narc.
Someone named Thomas Whittles.
Not cool, man.
Narc.
You're not cool, Thomas. The parents understandably alerted the police. At the witch tree, the investigators not only saw what the four boys did, but discovered much more. The front teeth of the deceased were unusual. They protruded outwards, kind of like buck teeth, kind of. Investigators also noticed the skeleton of the deceased was also stuffed within the same crevice of the tree where the skull was found, and almost entirely complete.
Wait. So this crevasse was actually like big enough for a human body to fit in.
Fit in, yeah, but it had to be like stuffed in there. It couldn't just been like they were, someone just standing there. Like it wasn't like 5 feet whole. It was probably I couldn't find.
They just jam all the bones in there.
Yeah, but it was like intact. They were still like connected. But it was just, someone was like put it in there
as a body before it rotted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
it's not like the tree. My question. I'm asking that because I don't want the tree to grow around.
No.
Because that would be crazy.
Yeah, because it's still like the one kid said there's still rotting flesh on top of the skull. And again, the skeleton was almost entirely complete. Scraps of clothing, a shoe, and a fake golden ring were found near the tree. The deceased's right hand was located 100 yards away, along with the other shoe. All right, so found the skull, body stuff in the tree, almost entirely intact, except for a right hand, which is found 100 yards away with the other pair of the shoe. Shoe. That's
it's just the hand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How it got there, no one knows. The hand itself.
Oh, that's grisly.
So some of the things the source I was looking at had two different forensic experts at this place. The ones that like kind of detail everything. One of the guys' names is Dr. John Lund or James Webster. It seems like it could be conflicting things unless they were both there, but it didn't seem like that. He concluded, whichever guy this was, that the deceased was a woman between 35 and 40, about 5 feet tall, and had been dead for 18 to 36 months.
Whoa.
A year and a half to 3 years.
Wait. There's still flesh on it?
Mm-hmm. So
After that long?
More likely 18 months, I'm guessing.
That seems like a long time, especially with bugs and stuff.
And wild animals.
Well,
it's in the woods.
Bones were still there, though.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of like bugs eating away the flesh.
Yeah, definitely possible.
What? Wait. Definitely possible what?
Definitely possible. It's definitely possible that like that could have bugs had eaten away.
Well, I'm saying that's what happened, but like, why did it? It seems like I don't think it takes that long, unless I don't know. Okay, whatever. I mean, obviously they're more. These people are probably have more.
Well, yeah, they're experts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not an expert, but that seems insane.
He also concluded that the woman had to have been stuffed in the tree before death or shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Because if the body had started going through rigor mortis, it would have been too stiff to stick it in the tree in such a tight space.
Okay, that's a crazy sentence you just said there. The context of that sentence.
So the bones would either have to have been broken in order for the woman to get stuffed in the tree or removed.
Yeah.
It had to have been before rigor mortis set in. She might have still been alive or just have recently died.
Yeah, that's or alive.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead, but did they have a cause of death?
Let me ask you this, though.
Okay.
So I've done a few of these John and Jane Does before, like the Isdale woman, the Shroud one, the guy on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Tom Mom Should.
Yeah. Tom Shroud, and then the lead mask case.
Oh, yeah, you love dead people.
Is that bad? Is there people just come
you're
looking for me?
You're the murder guy. I don't like the murder episodes.
They were very, and those all had like really weird clues surrounding them, obviously, at the murder sites. They were on like mountainsides, a field, or a beach, but this person was stuffed in a tree. So let me ask you, what do you think happened so far? Like, why was this person in a tree?
Okay, so this lady is in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
She's dead.
Yeah. Been there anywhere from 18 to 36 months. More likely 18. 5 feet tall, missing a right hand. That was found further away.
I think she climbed into the tree and got stuck. And her hand was up and it got somehow like an animal came it. Yeah.
What was she doing in the tree then?
She probably climbed in there for a joke. for a goof.
For a goof.
Or like to hide from the Nazis. I don't know. Like what's going on at this part of the world, right?
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah.
Or she's climbing in there to get away.
Maybe she was looking for some bird eggs.
There you go. Maybe there was something like today there was a story about in time of this recording, there's a story about a girl like in Australia that like dropped her phone between two rocks, like in a crevice, like somewhere in Australia, and like she went to get it and was basically hanging by her feet upside down for like 8 hours while the people, like the emergency crew, they get her out of it. Like
hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Oh God.
For 8 hours, 7 hours took them to get her out of it. But then there's also a story about a guy like got stuck in a cave upside down and he died because your body can't be like that.
Yeah, right.
But like, I guess he was in there a lot longer and there's no way to get him out.
Yeah. That's pleasant.
But like being stuck in a tree, I mean, because there's stories of people. I mean, it's probably a story I don't know if we've done a story about this, but like, there's definitely mysteries I've looked into where like a person just ended up in a chimney, and like I think there's a story
like a chimney sweep.
No, like I think it's may have been
burglar, Santa Claus.
Yeah, like those type of situations. But like there was a mystery of this kid. Maybe like also all unsolved mysteries, the newer one on Netflix, maybe like one of the first seasons. But the kid waited for his mom. He like went to school when his mom left work. He came back into the house, but he climbed into the chimney to get into the house because the doors were locked. And he got stuck in there and they couldn't find him for weeks or something. Then they finally smelled something and he was in the chimney.
Jeez.
And I may be getting this wrong story, like the what actually happened is wrong,
like
but
I'm not going anywhere.
I know it ended up a person in the house in a chimney. He got stuck like wedged in there and he just died because no one found him in time. And he got suffocated or something, couldn't move. And they found him like weeks or years later or something like that. Like, oh crap, there he is. And he was just in there.
It'd be an awful way to go.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
If you get stuck in a tree like somewhere that small, you're not getting out.
Yeah.
Unless someone comes and pulls you out.
Again, yeah, I don't know how big this hole was. So, all right, now, one more little tidbit here. The forensic expert also found a piece of taffeta, or taffeta.
What?
I guess it's like a synthetic substance, kind of like silk. Was lodged in the woman's throat, indicating she died from asphyxiation.
How big was this thing?
I don't know.
Like a sock or something. Like someone jammed something in her throat.
In her throat, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't
some synthetic thing like silk, kind of. Was in her throat. So she might have been gagged or just like shoved down in there.
So the purpose, so someone murdered her.
That's what police concluded. Like she had to have been murdered.
That's not good.
No, it's not, Chris.
Okay.
All right.
Wych Elm
tree.
Lady stuck in it.
Yep.
Ooh. 1943.
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the police's efforts didn't drop any leads. Missing person reports didn't help identifying the woman. Even though the woman had protruding front teeth, kind of like distinct teeth, dental records didn't prove fruitful either. Also, not to mention, this is during World War II, so there was a lack of resources, plus many people were displaced, unaccounted for, or missing, making it even more difficult narrowing down who the woman was. So again, like you said, you just pointed out, 1943, body was discovered in April. It wasn't until December of that year, or possibly 1944, that a new lead appeared. Written chalk on a wall, someone wrote, "Who put Lubella down the Wych Elm?"
Oh, God. Wait, so no one reported like a missing person?
No. Which is, I mean, it's kind of understandable. Like I said, during that time, like, they have more pressing matters, like, you know, Nazis and...
But no one said, hey, my daughter's missing, or my wife is, I guess if he's off at war, but like...
Yeah.
That still seems like someone should have said something to someone.
Right.
Someone should have said something to someone.
Yeah. So this is the first instance, though, where like a name is being placed, like who this woman is. Later, another piece of graffiti was found, this time saying, "Who put Bella down the Wych Elm?" Eventually, more and more were found saying, "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?" The graffiti would continue to appear throughout the years, even decades. From that moment on, Jane Doe was going to be identified as Bella. Considering the timing of the first found piece of graffiti, the fact that it appeared so soon after Bella's death, investigators and locals believe that whoever was writing this had knowledge about Bella's death, or at least knew who she was.
So where was this graffiti at?
In the town. Like, I think one was on like the side of a building. One eventually appeared on like an obelisk in the town, like a monument.
So this is like a town in this county.
Yeah.
Worcestershire County.
I think it's called like Midlands.
Okay. And it's like a major town, like the major town in the area.
It's not huge.
Well, how far are we talking is away from the tree? The walking distance? Is it driving distance? Is it like out in the country? Do you really know?
No, we don't.
Well, I'm just saying, like, as if someone like, if it's a city thing versus a country thing, like if this person's like a car drive away, a half a day a drive away, or
then so I didn't think about that.
And how do we know that story traveled from there? Did it not? Like, was it the same Bella? I mean, obviously it was, but like,
but also like some people were thinking that like maybe the first writing was like someone knew who Bella was or was taunting the police. Like had knowledge of the murder, or just knew who this woman was and wanted it to like the investigation to be ongoing, not forgotten.
Yeah, keep it in the public interest.
Yeah, maybe the subsequent ones were just more just like people just doing it as graffiti. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so they
didn't necessarily know who this woman was, but like they just kept it going.
Because if they're doing it in this town, I mean, someone knows this person who was from the town, maybe. So then, like, more people should know this person. But then if one person's doing it, then that's the person that probably knows is the only person that's saying anything about it.
Right.
But they're the person that needs, like,
yeah. So they think this person knows who Bella is, or had something to do with the murder, or knew of the murder of this woman. But also, some people were just saying this could be a red herring kind of situation, like mislead the police. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I see the writing on the wall, but I too am skeptical about what this lady's doing in a tree. I'm more interested in like how far away we're talking. Because if it's like in London, people writing this graffiti.
No, it's not London. No,
and this is like
let's see here.
On the other side of the country,
right?
But like, if it's in the general same town, like the outskirts of town versus the city, then like more people should know who that person is.
Right. So her body was found on a estate. I'm assuming the state is more like a, not necessarily rural, but like
the country estate.
Country estate, yeah.
On the outskirts of a town.
Yes. So the closest, looks like Worcestershire County is kind of more like you said, not necessarily rural, but like countryside kind of. The closest city that's the biggest is Birmingham, which is significantly big, like significantly large city. But yeah, it's not like London or anything like that. But it is. I mean, it's a big town.
So that
city.
Birmingham was the town that graffiti was found in.
Yes, okay. One of them. Yeah.
And how far was that? You said
from Birmingham to Worcestershire.
The Shire. Yeah.
Shire. It looks like it's only 30 miles.
That's not okay. We did 30 miles in 1943.
That's pretty.
You get your jalopy and drive out there.
If I did this correctly, yeah, it's about 30 miles.
Okay, so 30 miles. That's pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, this is appearing in town too, like in Worcestershire County itself. But like, I think one of them did pop up in Birmingham.
So you got to be.
It is spreading. Like the fact that this graffiti is popping up.
Yeah,
outside of like that ring, it's like people become more.
So the person is either the person who did it traveled away, or this person is not from that area, because like rural county like that, people know each other.
Yeah. Like
that's not like, it's not unheard of unless it's different England, but like people know everybody if there's not that many people living in a rural area. Especially, I mean, imagine you go to a bigger town. Yes, it makes more sense, but this is 30 miles away. That's a far drive.
Yeah, I think one definitely showed up in Birmingham, I'm pretty sure. I just want to make sure to see what kind of. Yeah, the county's largely rural. Population around, that's pretty big. Population around, well, now close to 600,000 people.
600,000?
Yeah, so it's
holy poop.
Pretty big.
Yeah. So maybe they didn't know anybody. Okay. So who put Bella in the tree, Jordan?
So years later, when DNA testing became a thing, like, you have the remains, so we can do DNA testing for how this person is. The local authorities said her remains have been lost.
What?
They gave it to a university and then like this just disappeared.
Some guy was like, well, some older professor's like, it's in my closet now.
And again, this
used to be in my closet.
This could be because of the war that was going on.
Yeah, you imagine that probably ruined a lot of things, like the Amber Room. You know, we talked about that.
Right.
Like the records leading up to where the hell that thing is.
Yes. Okay, so some things I want you as well as our listeners or watchers, those 5 people
at home,
some things to consider. One, that Bella's remains disappeared.
That's not that weird. How much time are we talking?
Were they disappeared?
Like how much time till DNA became around? They were like,
oh yeah, I mean,
this is like 40
when
years.
Did DNA become a thing, like the 90s? Because that was a big part of the OJ case, and people were like, we don't really trust this. It's like a pseudoscience, I think.
But put them on that lie detector. We'll believe that garbage.
Yeah, because I think it's someone like 2018 or 17 was like, hey, did you guys consider doing DNA? He's like, yeah, but like the university we gave to, they have it.
Oh,
Now
okay.
we don't know where
So this is 2018 they're talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that wasn't a thing back then, DNA testing.
Right.
So, all right, her remains disappeared. Would the killer or killers need local knowledge of the land, especially of this tree?
Yeah. Or luck.
Would it take at least 2 people to shove her in the tree to begin with?
And she was put in feet first.
I don't know.
Or her head was sticking out. The kid saw the head, so she had to have been feet first.
Yeah, right, yeah. That makes sense.
So
who wrote these messages? Was it just some random person? Would it be the killer or killers taunting the police? Or just someone who actually knew Bella, like a friend or family member, who knew she was murdered and not only wanted answers, but wanted to make sure the case remained active?
But why wouldn't they say who she is?
Exactly. Or this person may actually know who Bella's killer was, and for some reason they didn't come forward because maybe out of fear.
Okay.
We're going to theories.
So she's in a tree.
Yeah.
It does make sense. How high up was she?
That's the one thing I did try to find, because apparently this kid did climb the tree.
Okay.
Started climbing it and came across this hole or crevice in there.
I mean, if it's...
And I couldn't find that. Like every resource I found, like they didn't actually give like how high up in this tree this person was.
It had to be, if she's 5 foot, it had to be, I'd imagine a few feet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be my guess, but I don't know exactly, how high up this kid went.
Right.
Also, I did see that, like, in order for this, doesn't really matter that much, it seems, because but like some of at least the first graffiti that was put up was very high. So people were like, it could have been a kid that did that. It had been like an adult, but like, they just use a ladder
To put a girl in a tree?
No, to like do the graffiti.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's too high off the ground. Like, a kid can write that high. They could use a ladder.
Yeah. Anybody could use a ladder to do that, right? So you'd have to be pretty strong to get a person in a tree, though.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. It might need more than one person to do that.
Maybe.
I would assume.
Okay. So what are the theories here for old Bella in the tree?
So I'm gonna go more like, I like to do a little bit more far fetched to more realistic. Kind of my thing. So the first theory is,
wait, this is realistic to non-realistic?
Non-realistic to realistic. So sort of like the craziest. And then some of this stuff isn't actually that crazy.
So an alien came and teleported her in their tree.
No
Sasquatch jammed her in the tree.
There's no alien nor
no Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Do they have a Yeti over there in jolly old England?
They have something like that, I think, right?
I don't know.
Some other name for it.
Squatch?
Stink ape.
Yeah. I mean, they all...
Skunk ape.
All right.
The first thing is she might have been a victim of an occult ritual, witchcraft, or hand of glory ceremony.
A hand of glory?
Oh, yeah.
1986 when DNA became...
DNA, okay.
First, it was discovered in 1869.
What?
Yeah. But then DNA was first introduced as evidence in the United States court system in 1986.
Okay.
In little more than a decade, DNA technology became an increasingly powerful forensic tool. So 1986 was first used in court.
In the United States.
Yes, but it was discovered in 1869.
Wow.
It wasn't until 1953 when scientists revealed DNA's double helix structure, and then this kind of started the whole blow up.
Okay.
So 53.
That makes sense why during the OJ trial they're just like kind of still iffy about it. It was like, what, 94, 93 that happened or something like that?
I think also like was both sides like okay with that being, the other, it might blow up in their face, but they're like,
right.
So maybe the prosecuting or defending side was like, no, we don't believe that crap.
We'll try to disprove that. The one theory connects Bella's death to cult rituals and rich crap.
Rich crap?
One theory connects Bella's death to cult rituals and witchcraft, which were subjects of great suspicion during the early 20th century. Some investigators pointed out that the body was missing a hand, which was later found buried nearby.
It was buried? I thought it was just laying.
Sorry, that's another mixed thing. So some people said it was buried. Some people it was just found laying out in the open. And some said it was like kind of like torn apart, which makes me think it like there was just kind of like in pieces. Makes you think like a wild animal got to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously animals got to it, but like how to get off the body? Did they ever
Right.
say like it was a cutoff? Because
It seemed some people believe it was cut off, but like one of the guys investigators like it could have been some wild animal got a hold of it. But again, like how far up the tree was she and like
I mean, bears would climb trees.
That's true, yeah.
But if it was that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it was sticking out and something got a hold of it, ripped it off.
Maybe.
But was it cut off? Could they tell like were there marks on the bones?
Not that I saw.
That showed like
not either way. Like I don't know if it was cut off or like ripped off.
Oh, man, see if I was alive back then, all these things would be solved. Be asking the tough hitting questions.
This detail combined with the eerie placement of her body inside a tree led to speculation that Bella might have been the victim of a black magic ritual. In folklore, the separation of a hand or burial of a body inside a tree is associated with occult practices, suggesting Bella may have been part of a ritual sacrifice or curse.
Man, they just call British Bigfoot. That's stupid.
No, that's not fun.
Yeah, they don't have like a cool name for it. British Bigfoot. Come on, England, you're better than that. Jeez. Okay.
This theory is bolstered by the location itself. Hagley Wood has historical associations with witchcraft, and the fear of witches was still prevalent at the time of Bella's death.
You're saying it's crazy that the witches did this.
Yeah.
Because 1940s witches weren't as cool as like 18,
No.
17, 16,
No,
1500 witches.
Apparently, there's a guy who years later was around the same area, was murdered. I think a pitchfork was like thrust through his body, and people believe that was like a witchcraft kind of thing.
Yeah, because the guy that did it was like, yeah, it was a witch. It was crazy.
Yeah.
This witch did it
I
over
don't know
there.
why a pitchfork would have anything to do with that, but
Pitchforks, that would suck.
additionally, the area around the West Midlands had known groups involved in ritualistic practices, although no solid evidence has ever emerged to directly link Bella's death to any specific group.
I mean, you figure World War II, there's probably a lot of D squad going around, like in charge of stuff at this point. Like, there's a lot of, especially in 1943.
Very limited resources, I would imagine, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's the only people left that can't, I mean, everybody's fighting.
Yeah, and I imagine communication would be difficult, too, just because like you have to be careful what you're saying. I guess there'd be like a lot of government oversight with that, too. Like, what do you communicate?
Murder?
No, I mean, as far as just like the machine of war, like, and like the oversight of like, hey, we can only communicate so much this time of day because, Nazi spies could be listening, or Germany could be listening on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like communication resources are very limited.
So they don't want to talk about a murder because the Nazis might hear it?
I don't know. Maybe, man. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot of like strictness as far as that stuff.
Okay. I mean, I've never been fighting the Nazis, so I don't know.
Speaking of Nazis, one of the most prominent theories is that Bella was involved in espionage during World War II.
I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah, this idea gained traction due to the geopolitical context of the time and rumors surrounding foreign agents operating in England. According to some accounts, Bella could have been a Dutch or German spy sent to gather intelligence on British industrial targets or military operations. This theory is supported by reports of foreign spies being active in this region during the war. And the fact that Bella's body was found in 1943 was a critical year in the conflict.
Was there any bases? Was it on the East Coast?
What's up?
Was this area on the East Coast?
No.
Was there any military bases around this area?
No, but like, again, it being a rural spot, it could be easier for German spies to like
move around without being noticed. Yeah.
A version of the espionage theory centers on a Joseph Jacobs, who was a captured Nazi spy. Maybe Joseph
Jacobs. Okay.
He was a captured Nazi spy.
And he was, they captured him in this region.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The years after the war, MI5, which is like the British intelligence agency, released its wartime files, and there were mentions of Jacobs' capture in it. Apparently, Jacobs mentioned during his interrogation that another Nazi spy, a woman named Clara, was involved in espionage and had parachuted into England. So he parachuted in England. They caught him. They put him to death in 1941. But during his interrogation, he's like, someone else was coming with me. We were supposed to meet up, but we never were able to meet up.
We were supposed to meet up in this tree. We never got there.
So there was a Clara Borel. She was a German cabaret singer and suspected spy. She allegedly matched the description of Bella. Claire was rumored to have been parachuting in England on a covert mission but never completed it. It said she disappeared in 1941 and also that she had unusual teeth, just like Bella. Although no conclusive evidence links Claire to the body in the Wych Elm, the theory remains intriguing because it ties Bella to wartime intrigue, possibly secret government files that have yet to be released. So I saw one thing where where Clara likely died before Bella was found, and also that someone did find out that this Clara lady died in 1942. So just conflicting things about that.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, you said there's a lot of stuff going on in England at this time in the 40s.
A lot
of crap going down.
Yeah.
And so
hard to keep things straight.
Plus, a lot of stuff's getting bombed, so records are probably being destroyed a lot in the Blitz. Well, I mean, when the Blitz was that was early 40s, late 30s.
Yeah, but I think it kept going on. I don't know when it stopped, but
I mean, a lot of stuff was being destroyed.
Which means like records.
There's probably so much going on. There's probably so many people landing.
Yeah, but people are like losing their homes during this, so they kind of like either go missing or, like you said earlier, they're displaced. It's hard to keep track of like individual people.
So she may have been displaced from somewhere else.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go into that a little bit later. It's also possible she might have been a double agent who was caught.
Jammed in a tree?
Jammed in a tree to hide the body.
Oh.
Or she was just simply a witness to covert German spy landing.
Yeah.
Maybe she like saw it happen and they didn't want word getting out that they're obviously infiltrating the enemy, so they just caught her, killed her, and stuffed her in a tree.
Ran around looking for a tree.
That's why she was gagged.
Yeah. They just ran around like, oh, look, I found a hole in a tree. Jam right here. Like, that's so convenient, though.
Sure.
Are Wych Elms, do they have, like, are they known to be, like, big holy trees like that? Like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, because, like, they're not really around anymore. Now they're just considered, like, shrubs. Like bushes.
What?
It's like a part of a family of things.
Is it phylum or genus or whatever the hell they call it? All those different ass things. I don't know. Families. Like, I know so we have a tree in our yard that's like insanely old, and there's a giant hole that you could probably definitely get in and just hang out in there. I don't know what type of tree it is. I probably should have looked that up, but it's like still jamming someone in there it'd be difficult.
How high up? Jesus, how high up do you think that hole is?
To look in it, I have to stand on my tippy toes. It's about, probably almost 6 foot. Oh, I'm not almost 6 foot. I'm 5'9". So over 5'9".
Yeah. Okay.
But the open, and we're talking about a tree that's probably 200 years old.
Yeah.
And the base of the tree is bigger than this table, but easy, probably double this table. So the opening we're talking about here, like, it got hit by lightning, half of it died. There's a big hole in the side of it. It still grows out the other side, which is still alive. But like the hole in the tree, I could get in. We both could be in there hanging out.
Okay.
We would need a ladder.
Yeah.
But so I know I don't know if that's a type of tree. I think the tree that this is known to rot from the inside, or maybe all trees. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it might be an ash tree. I haven't think about it. Anyway,
an ash tree.
It's an ass tree. An ass tree.
So yeah, she could have been just simply a witness who saw
wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, exactly. Was murdered because of that. Subsequently, a more conventional theory is that Bella was murdered by someone in the local community, possibly in connection with criminal activity. This theory suggests that Bella may have been an outsider, a sex worker, a gypsy, or a transient who was involved in illicit dealings, potentially with local criminals. Some locals speculated that she may have been a sex worker or ties to the black market, both of which were active during the war.
It sounds like the Isdell woman.
Yeah, a little bit. Given that many records from this time were lost or destroyed, and the fact that the West Midlands was home to numerous transient populations during the war, it's possible that Bella's identity and the identity of her killer were lost due to this disorganization of wartime Britain. You mentioned earlier, like this place got bombed. However, without further evidence, the theory remains speculative.
Okay. It seems crazy.
Yeah.
It seems like
almost a lot. I mean, all these theories so far don't seem too far fetched.
No.
But there's just certain things I'm just like, I don't know.
Remember
about this.
Remember a couple episodes when we talked about teleporting?
Yeah.
Was that a Garth episode maybe?
Yes.
I think.
Right.
Anyway, when you teleport, I don't know if it was that episode, but anyway, you teleport something or go back in time and there was like, if I go back in time right now, there's a tree here 300 years ago or 200 years in the future. I'm just in the, am I in the tree?
Yeah.
Or am I underwater?
That might not have been a Gartha, but I remember we had that conversation.
Maybe she's just a time traveler that teleported the wrong point in time. Like that's in the future. That's what a teleporter was.
Okay.
That's like, there's like a research institute. You ever think about that? Like there's a research institute there. And so she's in the future. She's like, I'm going to go back 400, 500 years into the past.
And you're in a tree.
That thing that's in her mouth was like, remember that? Maybe it was like a control system.
Why would it be in her mouth?
Well, because it's like the like nanobots, and like it helps her get back.
But they know what the substance was.
Or maybe it's the plans, and so it was a note, and so she swallowed it to keep it out of the enemy's hands. She was stuck on a tree, and her hand was the only thing she could.
Yeah, but was she sent back in time to kill Hitler? Maybe. Or why would she be in England? I don't know.
Well, but that's because the English made the teleporter.
There you go.
And she was supposed to go back and then go to Germany.
Solved it.
Yeah. This is all, again, if I was alive back then, all these things would be solved. I'm like that one guy in the telephone booth. Does he solve stuff?
The telephone booth?
That's the British guy with always going to do Captain Unknown or something. What the heck was his name?
Doctor Who?
Yeah. Captain Unknown. Yeah, I got the.
I never watched that show. It's been on for like 40, 50 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's probably great. I'm never going to watch it, but like, didn't he solve crimes? Mysteries?
Or something like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So in 1953, there was a possible lead that occurred. At the time, a local journalist drummed up new interest in the case when he began writing sensationalist stories about the Bella case. That year, the journalist received a letter from someone named Anna. Anna claimed to have knowledge about the case. Anna wrote, "The one person who could give the answer is now beyond the jurisdiction of earthly courts," meaning they're dead. "The only clues I can give you that the person responsible for the crime died insane in 1942, and the victim was Dutch and arrived illegally in England about 1941.
So wait.
I have no wish to recall anymore.
They died in 42.
The person responsible for the crime died insane in 1942. The victim was Dutch and arrived illegally in England in 1941.
This is saying that she was a spy. The person who did it was Dutch.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
that she was Dutch.
But who was the person who did it was... Didn't say.
The person who said
they died.
Yeah, they died in 42.
So they died. And that means if this was discovered in 43?
53. 10 years later.
No. The original discovery of the body.
Oh, yeah, 43. Sorry.
Okay, so it makes the timelines kind of match up with the 18 months that they say that could have been dead.
Yep.
Okay, that makes total sense.
This letter then gets passed on to authorities who plead with Anna publicly to come forward. And it took years, but a woman by the name of Una, U-N-A, or Una, came forward. Don't know if it's the same Anna. She told police that one night in March or April of 1941, her husband came home white and agitated.
Wait, white?
White, like just saw like a ghost kind of.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
He wasn't white before he left.
Yeah, where'd he come from?
I also saw some said that like this wasn't her husband, but her cousin. But anyways.
Someone
home,
she knew.
Seemed spooked and agitated. He told his wife or cousin he had been in a local bar or pub.
Yeah.
Call him across the pond.
Yeah.
With a man named Van Ralt and a Dutch piece named Bella.
Oh, piece means woman?
Yeah. I was like, wait, a painting?
Yeah, I was like
why are they borrowing a painting? Yeah. But
he was with a Rembrandt?
Quote, Dutch piece.
Oh boy.
Apparently the woman passed out in the car on the way home from being overly drunk.
They jammed her in a tree?
Van Ralt apparently told Una's husband to drive to the wood, and the pair stuck the woman in the hollow tree, believing she would come to her senses the next morning.
Oh, they were trying to like stow her away,
Or another source said they were just doing it as a prank. Like, oh, she's drunk. Let's just put her in the tree and see what happens.
That's an awesome prank. How many times they do that to people? Do you think that was like what they did in high school and stuff?
Was that like, it was, I'm curious to see if that was a thing.
We should start doing it. The next friend that gets drunk, we're going to do that to him.
But like, why would they would have to go legally on this, under this estate to do that? Like, you're kind of, I don't know.
I mean, at that point, who cares?
So either they did it because they wanted to
be
like,
hilarious,
to prove, to show her that the error of her ways, or they did it as a prank.
They're teaching her a lesson.
But either way, this woman never woke up.
Yeah, because she was jammed in a tree.
Yeah, and
Asphyxiated.
And then his husband, who's part of this charade, he apparently went insane because his actions ultimately killed this
someone.
one. Yeah.
So he
And he died in the mental hospital in 1942, a year before Bella's body was discovered. That kind of lines up with the letter that was written.
That's like a perfect bow on the story.
Yeah.
But like, I still don't know who the lady is.
No.
Who's Dutch.
She's Dutch.
So next time we have a party, something.
We bring a Dutch person?
No.
Invite a Dutch person?
No.
Some crooked teeth?
If someone gets passed out, now obviously
Put him in a tree.
We're putting him in a tree out my yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to all hurt our backs or something doing it because we're older people.
Yeah.
But is that what they do there? Is that like a thing in England?
I don't know.
Maybe this is why they stopped.
Yeah, because people die.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't she wake up?
Drunk? I don't know. But why would her mouth be gagged? Or like, why would there be that stuff in her throat? Like that in her throat?
I guess that's the only thing. And it was a piece of silk or something?
Yeah, I forget what the material is called, but it's synthetic like a silk.
Okay.
Like smooth and like silk, like silky. Silk.
So it's like a hanky they jammed in her mouth.
Yeah, maybe a hanky.
Which means she probably was screaming when they were jamming her in a tree.
Maybe, yeah.
But if she's blacked out, that's okay.
You're right.
I don't know.
That's what I got. What do you think?
So I think it makes most sense what you just said. I think I covered that. Like, makes sense that this person was from a different country, came in.
Do I know who she is? Like no one local.
And you said that they put stuff in the newspapers, right? The dental records and stuff.
Yeah, like a public, like they asked, like they try to go for dental records and match everything up, but like nothing was coming up. So would make sense that like no one would know who she is because she's foreigner.
And
no
information
one would have their dental records because she's
foreign. But there's also not a lot of movement in the news section because everything is the war.
Yeah, they're preoccupied. Yeah.
So it's like 20 pages in the newspaper notes when we're looking for dental records of some lady who died because they're worried about all the people dying on the front lines and being invaded. And she was supposedly Dutch, which was the Netherlands of Dutch people. Were they on the good side or bad side? And make sure you know what side you're answering here when we say good or bad, because that might set us up for something.
They were on the good side. They were invaded, but they were on they're like their own resistance. But yeah, they help out the Allies.
Okay, but they had been invaded by the Nazis.
Yeah, pretty.
Okay, so they were kind of getting their butts kicked too.
Yeah.
So,
but it doesn't mean like someone from the Netherlands would not have been like, "Hey, we're invaded. I'm gonna use this to my advantage to
might
survive."
have been sympathizer.
Yeah, just a sympathizer, or just trying to survive. Like, hey, I'll help you guys out if you let my family live. I'll go be a spy or something like that, or they fled the country and went to the UK.
So she may just fled to the UK as like a refugee type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I'd imagine like if her family fled, they would have known where she was.
Yeah.
And they would have been looking for her.
Or her family died.
Yeah, so she had to have been alone.
Yeah.
So she came over there.
So it's just don't know who she was.
Right. So she came over there, either running away, transient person, or when I say a transient, I mean like a drifter.
Yeah.
Someone who's just going through Europe, maybe running away from the war on her own.
Yeah.
She lost her family, or she's a spy, because she's, with sympathize or something. That's why no one knows who she is. The news isn't going into the Netherlands, especially if there's their own war going on.
Right.
So it's probably one of those things where like perfect timing, or like for these guys that did it.
But why did they do it?
But if it was like a drunken thing, why did they gag her?
Yeah.
If they were trying to play a joke on her and they jammed her in a tree, maybe they jammed her in a tree as a joke and then she kind of wiggled her way down like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to like jam something in her mouth so she doesn't scream.
She didn't bite us.
Yeah, I don't know.
But whoever did it were like, I feel like they would have to know like the lay of the land to do
where
something
that tree
like that.
was.
Yeah.
Especially if this lady whose husband supposedly did it was from the area.
Right.
So they would know that.
Or, like I said, it could have been a Nazi who parachuted into the area.
And those two found them and got this person could have not parachuted in the area. She was at the bar and then they found out she was a Nazi and just killed her and put her in the,
Maybe.
but they probably would have
I feel like
did
they
something a lot more brutal.
yeah. Or they would have owned up to it too. Like, hey, we killed a Nazi.
Yeah, they probably would have said, here's the proof that she's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Did she have anything else on her besides?
No.
That'd be other.
I think they said some of her clothing. The initial forensic guy did like a drawing. He said their clothing was either Dutch or German. I think it was something like that.
Okay.
That was his initial.
I mean, it could have been a German running away from the war.
Yeah, too. Yeah. Yeah. Because not everyone was all gung ho about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine a lot of Germans were not gung ho about it. I'd hope. But,
let me see. Do you think the person that initially wrote the first like piece of graffiti saying who put Lubella down the Wych Elm?
Oh yeah, I forgot about those guys.
Knew like what do you think that was about?
Why'd they say Lubella?
Eventually became Bella and other pieces of graffiti.
Yeah.
So do you think that whoever did that knew who this person was, or it could have been like the killer did it, like wrote that, like throw the police off. Like, well, so they're like, wait, who's Lubella? Do we know Lubella? Is there Lubella in the town?
But like that,
they like confuse the police, further confuse them.
But that was like almost draw attention to the fact that if they didn't do anything, I don't think a killer did that unless they're stupid.
Yeah.
Or the worst killer ever.
So do you think that it was someone that knew who Bella was, but why wouldn't they say something? But they knew her.
I think you have to almost have like multiple people be involved in this, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I would, yeah.
I don't think anybody. It makes
with.
more sense that she's like a refugee or something, or she's a spy, because no one knew her. If she had any family, they would have even if they were refugees or if they were in that area, they would have said something.
Well, what if they were just German refugees? Do you think they would say something? Because they're like, oh, like if they're German, they would have been.
They'd be like, hey, someone stole our person. Like,
yeah, but they probably would have been detained and be like, why are you in our country? So maybe they wanted to say something, but they didn't want to like identify themselves
if they're Dutch.
Out of fear.
If they're Dutch, though, if they're just refugees from the war, it doesn't mean they have to be German.
Right.
But at some point, someone would have came, unless everybody was dead. Like everybody they knew was dead. Like someone would have came around and said, "Hey, where the hell is this person at?"
Yeah.
They would have known they were in England, though.
Right.
So they got. It's just a very weird story. Same as the Isdale woman knows. No one knows who that is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But it seems like someone does know who it is because they wrote that.
Yeah, you figure if it was like if it was a Nazi and that people killed her because she was a Nazi, they would have put that in the graffiti.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would have been a bad thing then.
Yeah.
It would have been like, why would you hide the fact that you killed a Nazi?
Yeah, you should tell us.
Right. So it's not
a Medal of Honor.
I don't think that's what it is. I don't think she was a Nazi. And if she was a spy, same thing.
Yeah.
They'd have been celebrated for catching the spy. They wouldn't have killed her. They would have They would have taken her to authorities and been like, "Give me my reward money."
Is that what could mean that she was just maybe a sex worker or one of her friends or colleagues or fellow workers wanted to bring more attention to it, like keep it active, but they don't want to come forward out of fear of what their job was or what they were doing? That's the only thing I think of why that someone would come forward and be like, "Hey, that's my so and so," or "That's my friend." Right,
yeah,
right,
I mean,
why write that on something rather than just go to the police and be like, "Hey, I know this person is. Can you keep this case going?"
It's just so weird. Like, plus we don't know how many times maybe that was written all over the town. It was only recorded once or something.
So yeah, the first one popped up anywhere from 6 months to I think a year later, and then they kept popping up that same year, and then they stopped, and then they kept popping up. Like it kept going on over the decades. I think the first one was definitely written by someone who knew her, but the subsequent ones were just written by people who are just interested in the case. Like
But Lou Bella though.
Yeah.
Lou Bella. What does that mean?
His name. I don't know. And they got short to Bella. And another one.
So that means
I think the last one popped up in 2000 something.
Oh, that was probably just copies.
Well, yeah.
We're gonna go write that on my tree out in the end. Okay. So this has to be something like a convenient situation.
Yeah.
With this person.
I think she was murdered.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Had to be passing through like a refugee or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she wasn't a spy or anything.
I was thinking it's weird too. Is I never saw. Did they talk to this guy, this lord of this land? I never saw anything about
It
that.
seems like everybody's just doing stuff in his backyard.
Like, did they question him? Like, you know anything about? I never saw anything when I was doing this research. Like,
Well, he's a lord. Of course, I'm not going to question him.
right, yeah,
It's like, are you crazy?
maybe he did it. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, then he got away with it because
Yeah,
he's a lord.
yeah.
Well, so do you have any?
We should have a hotline for people to call in.
Have like a call-in show?
Like to give tips.
No one calls. We're like, any callers? Callers? No.
Callers? No, all right, cool.
Okay. It's been 6 months. No callers. Okay. Wait. So what do you think? Who put Lubella in the tree?
I don't know. Like we said earlier, like it could have been those two guys. But like, you're like, hey, we're stuffing the tree, whether or not it's a prank, or like be like, hey, we're putting you in the tree because you're drunk, and when you wake up, you're gonna see the area of your ways. Like, don't drink as much. But again,
That's
like,
a crazy prank.
right? But then again, like, why would there be something stuffed in her mouth?
Yeah.
Like, why would they do that? And also, like the graffiti, like at least that initial one, like someone had to have known who this person was
And known that someone did this to them.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to tell people they knew who this person was.
Right. Why?
That's the other weird thing. Like, if you're posting that because you're concerned,
Why not come forward?
and say that was my sister, my friend, unless they themselves was some kind of sex worker or something.
Yeah, out of fear.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been all over the place with this one.
Yeah, this is crazy.
But
So-
also, like, if she witnessed, say she did witness something happen, does that mean the Nazi did parachute and they landed in that estate?
Why is she the only one dead?
Yeah, why was she out there in the first place then, you know?
Yeah.
Because she wasn't working for this lord, because they think that would have come up.
Yeah, definitely.
I think in 2017 someone was able to do like a digital
Reconstruction.
reconstruction of her, and like they're hoping that will help out, but nothing's happened since then. Because I'm assuming anyone who would have known her would be dead by this point.
Well, also World War II.
Oh yeah.
May have died in the war. But if maybe he was his mistress, the Lord's mistress, and he was like, oh, crap. Get her out, drop her off, just put her in that tree down there.
My wife found out. She's on to me. Kill her.
But like, okay, so
Drag her out in the woods. They're from the tree.
yeah, like someone had to know that tree was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this was a prank, like all high school these guys were doing to their friends, like,
Yeah.
oh, go put Billy in the tree.
Yeah, so how many people were just constantly trespassing on this guy's land and like knew where this was?
For this one tree, or was like every Wych Elm tree had a big gigantic hole in it somewhere.
I don't know.
So there was just like people stuck in every tree. You drive to the woods, you're like, grab.
Yeah, there's another one. There's another one.
They're all drunk.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a cool thing to do in that region. Like cow tipping around here, you know, go tip a cow. Not around here, but like in America.
Yeah.
You know, draw on your friend's face whenever they're sleeping, they're
Yep.
passed out.
Tree stuff. They call it tree stuffing.
Yeah, stuff the
some
trees.
Want to do some tree stuffing?
Yeah, I mean that's like putting like, you know, the movies whenever they drag like their mattress out in the water at the camp.
Yeah.
The person wakes up in the middle of the lake. Yeah. All right, Jordan. Well, again, we didn't solve another one.
Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?
This is a good one because it's clean and cut. Not a lot of dirty details of this one. A lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
So thanks for bringing it aboard, the Mysterious Pals Express. Speaking of which, if you want to help out the Express, you want to listen to us or watch us on any podcast platform or YouTube, go ahead and do that. That would help us out. So give us a like, give us a follow, whatever you can. You can also send us an email, mysteriouspaelsonline@gmail.com. If you have questions or would like to give suggestions, critiques, we'd love to hear them. Put them in the comments too. You could do that.
Be constructive.
Constructive. I mean, you could just say you hate us. That's fine. Interaction or any interactions, good interactions. If you would like to find out the links to all that, our social media, it's all down in the show notes, such as Instagram and Facebook. The ones we pretty much use are Instagram, I think, for the most part, and Facebook. Yeah. You can also find those links on our website at mysteriousPals.com. It's mysteriousPals.com. Jordan.
Chris.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing the story.
Don't ever put me in a tree, man. Thanks.
Well, don't pass out.
Don't you go pass that on me now.
Yeah, I'm going to put you in a tree. All right. Till next time, same mysterious time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. See See everybody. We love you and thank you and good night.
Goodbye.